Hello there. We're just winding down the tunes for a minute. So we're going to start off the interview today. So welcome Hilda, who's recently joined Recovery Devon.
Hi Steve, it's really good to be here.
I haven't put the mic up yet, sorry. 2 seconds. Okay, you go for it now.
Hi Stephen, it's really good to be here.
Okay, brilliant. I think that's working. The one we did before, last interview we did a quick fire round, then we went into the main interview. So yeah, you're not allowed to it's a bit strict actually.
That's all right. I'll manage.
You can't think, you just got to answer. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Longest word in the dictionary?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Is that one? I was going to go for anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Oh, that'll do.
Your answer is a good one, though. That's fine. How many languages can you speak?
I speak English, French, and Russian.
English, French, and Russian. Wow. And first thing you can say in any language apart from English?
Dobry din.
And what's that?
That means hello in Russian.
Ah, hello. Well, I have to remember that one. Okay. Why have I written this? Lions or tigers?
Tigers.
Tigers. Just speak up a little bit. Just like you. Okay. Please give an example of an irreversible trinomial.
I have no idea what an irreversible trinomial
that's something
is.
useless I learned during an English language teaching course. It's basically like game, set, and match. So it's a trinomial, but it has to go in that order. So like game, set, and match. Think of another one.
It's not over till it's over.
Well, that's not 3, is it? That's like loads of them. I was going to say lock, stock, and barrel, but I didn't expect you to get that one.
What about sold out success?
Sold out success. Yeah, I would accept that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, adjective that describes yourself.
Kind.
Kind. Yeah, I get that a lot myself as well.
Oh, good.
That's good. Sorry, it's not about me, is it? What's the meaning of life?
To love and to be loved.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, what time did you get up today? That's a bit personal, isn't it?
About 6:15.
6:15. That's way too early. I don't get up until like most days until about 9.
I've got a dog to walk.
Oh, right. That is like too early for me. Quiet night in or a massive night out?
Quiet night in.
Okay. We interviewed someone, last month called Christy. She's lovely, and she was going massive night out. It's interesting, but I don't know. I'm in the middle, I think. Okay, favourite movie?
Oh God, I like The Notebook a lot.
The Notebook?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. What's that one about?
It's really romantic. It's a love affair, and Ryan Gosling's in it. It's absolutely beautiful. Very romantic.
Wow, romantic.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm more into high death count kind of movies, you know.
Bruce Willis. Rambo or something.
Oh, okay. Well, I might tell that to the missus. She might like the missus, my wife. That's not true. Okay. I'm a bit crazy today. Sorry. Okay.
I'm stuck in the studio with you, Stephen.
Yeah,
please don't say things like that.
You ain't getting out of here. Sorry. So, classical music or hardcore rave?
Classical.
Classical. All right. Interview's finished. No, that's all right. You can have classical. Okay. Best holiday.
Venezuela. I climbed a table mountain called Roraima, and it was amazing.
Oh wow, Venezuela. I wanted to go to South America. I've been done a bit of travelling, quite a bit of travelling, but I haven't been there. I will go one of these days.
Oh yeah, do.
Okay. Best. Oh, I said that. Best holiday country. Yeah, favourite country. Oh, that probably.
I think Russia is my favourite country.
Oh
yeah,
wow. Russia.
I was born in Moscow.
Born in Moscow. Oh wow. So you're pretty much bilingual then? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Lovely to speak Russian. I speak some Japanese, but it's nowhere near like bilingual.
Ohayou gozaimashita.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, what did you have for breakfast today?
I had porridge with stewed apples and oat cream.
That's very, very healthy.
I had a carrot cake just before I came to the studio.
I had carrot cake, so you ruined it. You mean? Okay, all right. Is that what you usually have for breakfast?
No. Well, for breakfast, yes. For the last, I think, 3 years, seriously, every day I have the same gluten-free oats with stewed apples or pears and oat cream because it's a kind of macrobiotic diet that I follow. And it's good for my health.
Macrobiotic diet. Okay, that's a new word I've learned today. It's quite a bit long for me. Someone who used to live in Watford. A word like that, you know. Okay.
Maybe that's longer than the anti-establishment. No, not quite as long as that.
Anti-establishmentarianism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So fish and chips or Chinese if you weren't to go out to a restaurant?
Oh, it varies. I think probably fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Respect to Hook Fish and Chips shop. If anyone's listening, I doubt you are.
Please do, yeah.
Okay.
With mushy peas.
Yeah. You cannot go wrong. Mushy peas. Okay. Favourite life experience?
Oh, I've probably given birth to my 2 children.
Oh, wow. That's lovely. Is it boy or girl?
I've got 2 daughters, age 14 and 13.
14 and 13. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to Hilda's daughters if you're listening to this retrospectively. Is that the right word if you listen to it afterwards?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm on fire.
They get embarrassed when I get up do public speaking or I'm on the radio, so they'll probably deny they ever listened to this, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, respect to Hilda's kids anyway. Okay. Any random thing you want to say to the audience?
Have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing, and enjoy life to the fullest.
100%. Okay, right. We'll move on to the interview on Recovery Devon, and then we'll have a little, maybe a couple of tunes. Okay, so, yeah, basically, why were you attracted to the role at Recovery Devon?
Mental health is a passion of mine. About 20 years ago, I burnt out. I had a very high-powered job in the biggest public relations agency in the world. I was an account director, and I thought, is this success? I wasn't at all happy, and I burnt out. And ever since then, I've found ways to empower myself to be able to manage my mental health, and I want to help other people to do the same. Well, that is amazing. Where did you hear about Recovery Devon from? I saw the job advertised with a CIC, community interest company called Parental Minds, who I know fairly well, and they work with children and young people who are self-harming or have got eating disorders or other issues, and that's where I saw the job advertised. Oh, brilliant. And I was going to say, can you describe some of the best experiences so far in the role? I bet you've had loads. I've only been there 2 months, but my main things are I absolutely love the team I work with. They're amazing. Yeah. Hi there, if you're listening. I'm not sure if you are, but community development team, Sammy and Jodie, they're incredible, and their passion and dedication is just impressed me so much. So anything, working with them is the number one thing. One of the other things that we host every month is called the 11s, where we have an online meetup on a different topic. So we had one for carers, and there were about 6 people in that meeting, 2 carers and some academics and people from the NHS. And one of the carers hadn't had any support, and she was looking after her husband who had dementia, and she felt completely isolated and alone. And by the end of the 1-hour meetup, just online, we gave her so many resources and pointed her to Devon Carers and to a Dementia Network, and she was just literally crying with gratitude because she didn't realise there were all these resources out there, and that really moved me, and I realised we are a lifeline to so many people. So that's one of the highlights that I've had so far. Wow. Helping someone else like that is amazing, isn't it? Yeah, totally. It's what drives me. Yeah, I mean, maybe not exactly to the same extent, but I found that with Wellraver, it's just so nice to be able to point someone in the right direction, isn't it? It really is nice. Especially if you're feeling isolated and you've taken on all this responsibility and you haven't really looked after yourself, and it is full on looking after someone with dementia. Sort of everything is on you. It's a massive weight, but people do it because they love their loved ones, but they don't realise at the same time, they don't realise their own rights, that they've got rights to being supported and looking after themselves as well. They've kind of got out of the habit of that. They've got rights financially, they can get respite, and they've just not even thought about it. They just got on with it. Yeah, exactly. There was a thing about on Recovery Devon, wasn't there? Is it this month about care for carers, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah, I remember reading a couple of posts about that. Yeah. That's exactly. So when we make a difference like that, it really stands out. And we're kind of moving into now our next winter development fund. So this is seed funding that we provide, and it's a funding, it's a grant between £50 and £750, and applications open on the 1st of September. So this Thursday, look on the Recovery Devon website. Can I give a little plug for the Recovery Devon website?
I'll get all morning.
So it's www.recoverydevon.co.uk. Look under the link for Winter Development Fund. If you're a recovery-focused organisation or have an idea that's innovative, recovery-based, and want to help in your community, apply for some of the funding. We look at the applications, then deadline is the 30th of September. And you might be the lucky ones to be picked and get a grant to set up a fantastic idea that's going to help your community.
I might apply. I did apply for, before COVID, I was going to have a DJ workshop, like people with disadvantaged backgrounds, and teach them to do some basic DJing and have a performance.
Wow.
So I might apply actually myself.
Please apply, do.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So what plans do you have for Recovery Devon that are really exciting for you, and why?
Okay, so my background is in communications. I was a communications manager for over 20 years. I worked for organisations like the Red Cross, and I set up a pet therapy scheme in New Zealand in youth justice residences, and I also then retrained as a holistic health practitioner. So I've trained in all sorts of things, from energy medicine to Reiki to massage, and coaching, mindfulness, you name it. I've pretty much covered it, I think. Because I'm a lifelong learner, and what I'd really like to do is to be able to, going forward, help communities with tools, set up schemes where we can help people, that are sustainable schemes, to never be at a loss for what to do if they're going through a mental health challenge. So if you wake up at midnight and you don't want to call anyone, but you've got the tools at your fingertips, you can think, I'm going to try my gratitude practice, and this is how I do it, because we've taught that, or I'm going to try this mindfulness practice, or this breath work, or this yoga, or whatever it is. I'd love to be able to set up schemes that are sustainable to empower people to have the tools at their fingertips so they can deal with their own mental health challenges. So it's very prevention focused, rather than getting to the stage where they're just pulling their hair out, they don't know where to turn to, and then they end up maybe in a hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to the breath work a little bit, because when I had really bad anxiety, people just told me to breathe, and that didn't help at all. But it's actually when I had hypnotherapy, and I went to have hypnotherapy still with a neuroscientist basically, and then someone said the rectangular breathing technique.
Okay.
And you just search for this could be rectangular than this dashboard or whatever it's called. So you breathe in one side, breathe out on the long side, and that has actually calmed me down quite a lot. Yeah. It's if I feel a bit anxious or something, it's just telling people, isn't it?
Exactly. People don't realise it. You can just focus in exactly as we've got the power within, but we just don't realise it. So we're searching outside of ourselves all the time. What can I do outside? But the power is within, and we've always got our breath. We need to keep breathing. We can go without food for a few days. We can go without water for a couple of days, but we can't stop breathing. And that is what we can always go back to. That is our power within. You put your hand on your heart, breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 5, and keep doing that. And it's amazing how quickly it calms you down. That chattering mind.
I mean, that sounds like a very similar thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a Heart Math Institute. Have you heard of Heart Math? They teach a lot of this.
Okay,
connecting with your heart and breathing into your heart and out through your heart.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm feeling a bit already. It's cathartic just listening to this.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. I tried to throw in a big word, cathartic, to make myself sound intelligent.
You are intelligent, Stephen.
Right. Yes. Okay, we're going to put on a couple of your tunes. I did have a folder. I'm just going to do that, just a couple of your tunes, and then we'll recommence the interview in a few minutes. Mike's dead now.
Last night DJ saved my life, yeah. 'Cause I was sitting there bored to death, and in just one breath he said, you gotta get up, you gotta get off, you gotta get down, girl. You know you drive me crazy, baby. You've got me turning to another man. Called you on the phone, no one's home. Baby, why leave me all alone? And if it wasn't for the music, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life with a song. You know, I hopped into my car, didn't get very far, no. Before I had you on my mind, why be so unkind? You've got your women all around this town. But I was trapped in love with you, and I didn't know what to do. But when I turned on my radio, I found out all I needed to know. Check it out. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life with a song. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life with a song. Hey, listen up to your local music. You better what you got to say.
It's not a problem that I can't fix, 'cause I can do it in the mix. And if your man gives you trouble just to move out on a double, and you don't let it trouble your brain, 'cause away goes trouble down the drain. Said away goes trouble down the drain.
Well, alright.
Dub time.
Do I dress for every situation? Moving through the doorway of a nation. Pick me up and shake the down. Baby, I can't do without. Move out. Don't mess around. Move out. You bring me down. Move out. How you get about? Don't make sense. Move out. I remember only for an hour. Move right through me. Can you feel the power? I don't know what's going on. Scares me, but it won't be long. Move out. Don't mess around. Move out.
Am I allowed to say Hilda's having a good old dance up in the studio right now or not?
Move out. Now he's in control, he's my lover. Nation stand against
Okay, right. That was... Oh, do you want to say them?
That was Situation by Yazoo, and last night a DJ Saved My Life by In Deep. Thank you very much for playing those. A blast from the past.
No, it's okay. It's good. It breaks up the interview as well. I mean, yeah. Okay. Right. Where am I? Right. Okay. So, I was going to record it on here on the mobile phone as well, just as a backup. Okay. So that's recording. Yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, when I was doing some research on you, does that sound funny? Is that like stalking or
no?
It's not, is it?
I kind of think it's preparing for something like this. So
yeah, I always do my research, and one of the things that stood out was on public speaking, especially in empowering women in public speaking. What was the statistic? Was it like half of men were kind of had anxiety about it, but like 20% of women.
Yeah, so I did a bit of research, and it's 23% of men have anxiety about public speaking.
I've got it the opposite.
But 40% of women have anxiety, and these are high-powered women leaders. And yeah, when you ask them to do a presentation or public speak, and it holds them back in life and in their career, and I wanted to do something about it.
So it was from you yourself. You found you wanted some.
Yes.
Then you wanted then.
Yeah, so what happened with me, with my background, is I was a real talker when I was a kid, and then when I moved from Russia to the UK, I had to learn a different language, so I had to switch from speaking Russian to learning English, and it took me about 6 months, and it affected me, in terms of my confidence in speaking, but not too much, and I suddenly started gabbing away in English. When I got to 8 years old, I was a real talker, and I was told off by my teacher and made to stand on a chair in front of the rest of the class for about 10-15 minutes, my hands on my head for speaking. So this is
harsh.
I know. To her credit, she did put me in the school play, and I got the lead part in the school play. So she kind of made up for it, because she knew that basically she couldn't really stop me from talking, and I had to have an outlet, because we come from a family of storytellers and talkers. My mum was a real storyteller. I could have done it professionally, but she turned down the chance to do it professionally. So I got it from her pretty much. And so I thought, well, this is why women have lost their confidence. A lot of women, when it comes to public speaking and talking, and it really affects us, because we're silenced as life goes on, in a way that I don't think men are. And
are you? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think the dictum, certainly when I was growing up, and I think even now, is women should be well behaved, they should be seen but not heard. That's certainly what my experience was of it. I think things are changing, and women and teenagers are much more confident these days about speaking up, but it's still this kind of expectation that you have to be sort of well behaved, and sometimes and men are encouraged to be loud and to
like the Finnish
themselves.
Prime Minister, you mean?
I didn't really follow that story very much.
Did you see that? It's just absolutely hilarious. She got caught just going completely wild. It's basically lap dancing and things.
It shows our humanness, doesn't it? It shows the multifaceted nature of us. We're not just our professional lives. We're humans, and we want to enjoy ourselves and have fun and let our hair down, and that's normal.
Absolutely. I read something a little while ago now, but men can just go and do things. I'll just go and put on an event overseas. I just wouldn't care about it. I'll just go and do it. Yeah. But I think that for ladies, I read somewhere it's just a bit harder to do that. Or something.
Yeah, and I think going into a pub on your own as a woman is still quite difficult. Maybe I did it from time to time, and I frequently found a man standing at the bar, propping up a beer on his own. But are women allowed to do that? Well, they can do that. Obviously, nobody's stopping them. But do you see many women standing on their own at the bar?
I don't think you do. But when you come to the connotations, I mean, kind of.
Well, it's just kind of. I think women, aren't sort of encouraged to do that, and and a lot of women don't have the confidence to do that, or even to have a meal on their own.
I think for some men, like I think when I was younger, I would have that confidence to go and do that, but because I've had hypnotherapy, it's calmed me down. I can just walk in and just chill now. But I guess it depends on your state of mental kind of
of course,
well-being, I suppose.
So I just saw these statistics, and I thought I really want to be able to support women with empowered expression. So not just public speaking, but that is the main thing, but also in the way they write, in the way they maybe
the way they write as well.
Yeah, because I'm trained in writing. I've got a master's in creative writing.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's really it sorts out a lot of issues, prevents a lot of problems getting bigger if the communication, if the way you communicate is clear and done with confidence.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like kind of not authoritative kind of writing, but more like expressionate, like using the right phrases and adjectives and whatever.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, the right,
very clear.
what's it, writing for the right genre,
writing
for the right audience,
but also not necessarily people pleasing. Not agreeing to something for the sake of it because you want to just that issue to go away, and you say, okay, I'll agree to it, but deep down in your heart, you know that, and it goes against your values, it goes against your intuition of what you really need to be doing. But you're just doing it because it's kind of people pleasing. So I think when you get more confidence and you can express yourself in an empowered way, either verbally or written, then it sorts out a lot of issues that could have been sorted out beforehand. But
maybe without the emotion, just expressing it.
Exactly. And expressing it in a positive way and in a kind way and in a thoughtful, considerate way, but being very clear and firm about what your intention and aims are when you're expressing yourself.
I bet that's a fine line, isn't it, between like being too over kind of bearing and so it's that sort of middle point, isn't it? Middle ground, if you like.
Exactly. It's an art and a science. And I think it's much needed, really. It's certainly changes that can transform lives, this sort of coaching and this sort of teaching.
Absolutely, and that's brilliant. That's really good to hear. And I actually was going to ask, is there like a pseudonym is fine? But actually, has there been one person or one example of someone you've helped that's really kind of gone somewhere, if you like?
I had a client early on when I started. Her name is Claire, and she had grown up in that kind of environment where her parents weren't really encouraging her to speak up for herself, and she literally sort of lost her voice as growing up because she didn't feel that what she said was valuable, and she didn't feel she was important, and so I don't know if you know much about chakras, the energy systems in the body, but her throat chakra was quite blocked and she was finding it hard to express herself, so she came to me and we worked together, and it quickly changed, and she now has, this is maybe 3 years on, she's now got her own podcast.
Oh, brilliant.
And she's reaching and helping more people with all the skills and talents she has. She also runs nature walks through Dartmoor for groups of people, like 20 or more, something she wouldn't have probably been able to do before.
Oh, wow, that's unbelievable.
So it transforms lives, it helps you to fulfill your potential and makes you a lot happier.
That's her actual name, Claire?
Her name is Claire.
Okay, Claire, massive respect. I really enjoy hearing about what you've been doing, and
she's an amazing woman.
Wow. Is she does Claire kind of work professionally, or?
Yes, she does. She's got her own business.
Oh, wow.
And she's done some retraining herself, and one of the therapies that I employ for this and that helped me when I was terrified of public speaking, went through a period where I was terrified of public speaking because I had fear of being judged. Who are you to go up on stage and say something? Do you know enough? Are you interesting? All of these thoughts go through your head, and I used emotional freedom technique or tapping to help me get through it, and that's what and I retrained as an emotional freedom technique therapist, and I love it. And Claire has subsequently retrained as well in emotional freedom techniques, and she's now a practitioner of it as well. Wow, that is unbelievable. So you kind of pay it forward, there's a huge ripple effect, and you think, I'm helping this one person, and it's absolutely fantastic just to help one person, but then when you see their lives, you think, my goodness, they're impacting hundreds of people every year now with their podcasts. It could be, international. And it's knowledge, isn't it? If you're receiving a knowledge, like I can revert back to my hypnotherapy. I know a lot about neuroscience and about the chemicals you need to be well, how to get them and things. And actually, I like to tell people about it whenever I can. And I think it's important to just get the knowledge out. It's really important to get out of your comfort zone. because you can be stuck in our comfort zone, absolutely terrified, but in our place of safety, because that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
If you take the, that step towards getting out of your comfort zone and trying something new, just thinking, I'm going to give it a go, I've got nothing to lose, just have a go.
Well, I had lots of problems growing up, at school and things, and maybe a little bit at home, and it's like knocks your confidence, but actually just doing stuff like this and doing the events and everything, I just feel like a different person, like compared to a few years ago.
I can see it really lights you up as well.
I might almost have too much confidence at the moment.
There's no such thing as too much confidence. No. I've actually worked with a business coach who was told by her mum growing up, Sarah, you've got too much confidence. Can you imagine that?
No.
And she's a millionaire now.
Happy days.
And she gives it back. She invests about 20% of her earnings into training, so she becomes even better at what she does. Into self-development and personal growth. She invests about 20% of that, and she employs a team of, I think it's about 5-6 people, and she's absolutely incredible. She lives in Spain, got married in a castle.
Wow.
I don't think you can be. There's no such thing as too much confidence. She stepped into who she already was.
Wow. I mean, that is such a success story.
And she inspires.
I guess it must still be rewarding for you now, like seeing what Claire's doing right now, I guess.
Yeah, so this is a business coach I was talking about called Sarah, who I also know. But Claire is heading that way for sure. Yeah. She's heading that way from someone who was, not feeling valued, not feeling important, not feeling good enough 3 years ago, to someone who now has her own podcast, has been interviewed recently by a national newspaper.
Yeah.
She's really on her way, and she's incredibly creative. She's writing a book, and she does drawings, and also she's a single mum to 2 teenagers. I don't know. This is very inspiring.
Yeah, that was actually a topic of creativity. We explored that in the last interview about being creative can just kind of draw you into like the now, and you're not really thinking about the future or anything, or the past. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And also, have you heard that phrase, neuroplasticity?
Use it every day. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I've heard of that. I've got a master's as well.
In neuroplasticity.
Well, not quite.
You're probably know enough.
Let's do it.
A master's in it. Yeah.
Neuroplasticity is about it's about the developing the intellectual side of your brain, is it, rather than the kind of maybe the prehistoric kind of side.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is that, but it also, what? I don't know if you were told this when you were younger, but I was told we all have our brain cells, and there's millions of brain cells. But by the time you're 18, that's it. You're not going to grow anymore. You've completed your brain cell development. You've got your millions, and now it's atrophy, and you're going to lose your brain cells, and it's all downhill from here, basically. So you don't forget about learning new language, forget about learning a new instrument, forget about doing this and that, because it's this is your peak almost. But neuroplasticity, now the science of neuroscience has said that you can learn up until your deathbed, basically. You can learn new things, new skills, and when you're creative, let's say you're playing a musical instrument and you're a musician, it fires up the synapses, the networks between different sides of your brain.
Absolutely, yeah.
It keeps it active, and it keeps you in the present, and it increases it kind of can ward off things like Parkinson's and dementia, because you're keeping your brain active, you're staying in the present, and you're learning something new.
Yeah, that's actually what my hypnotherapist has been saying about that. Yeah, that you can kind of expand your kind of mind by doing things like creating things.
Yeah.
And I knew of neuroplasticity. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically I studied it during my master's, because when you learn a second language, it's supposed to just have more neuroplasticity range.
Yeah.
when you were before 10, I think. So I think you probably came back at just the right time, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think after 10 or something it starts getting a bit harder. But I mean, you still can develop.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say it one more time, neuroplasticity.
I've got a friend who learned Mandarin at 18, having no prior knowledge of Mandarin. Really.
Yeah, and got quite fluent.
She lived in Hong Kong for a bit, but they don't speak Mandarin, they speak Cantonese. She went to university in Beijing at 18, and she was there for about 2 years, and she became fluent.
Yeah, I think you can. When I was in Japan, after 5 years, I was speaking Japanese fairly fluently. I think if you're in the environment, definitely. I think you will. There's a lot, I think you can. I think.
So there's hope. Keep going.
Maybe not going to be exactly like a native. Say if you just, you came when you were a child. Maybe not exactly like 100%, but maybe you can get to 99%.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's fun. And it's fun doing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What have we got? I think we went through this other question.
Where did we get to, Stephen? I've lost track now.
Well, I was going to ask, how has this felt for you personally to see people grow in confidence? But you've probably answered that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Have you used alternative therapies? So it's a bit of a long sentence. But I've also already said neuroplasticity quite a few times, so it's all right, isn't it? So have you used alternative therapies in lowering people's anxieties for this role? And if so, what kind of therapies?
Yeah, so this is public, going back to public speaking, yes, the emotional freedom techniques I've used mindfulness.
Just wondering if you just want to just move slightly to the...
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Better.
Okay?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
And I also teach something called Rahanni, which is like Reiki, and it means of one heart, and it's a very high frequency form of energy healing. And that, what it does is it lifts negative emotions from your heart, because the energy vibrates on your heart chakra, and so all the emotions that, like guilt or shame, that may hold you back in life and keep you in that kind of your safe zone, they get lifted out with Rahanni, and then you start to fly, and you're in your growth flying phase.
Sounds amazing.
It's brilliant. I've got 2 more students coming up in about a week's time.
You've got 3. I'm going to be one. I'm going to be one.
I better get a bigger room.
I think you've got about 100 more students. I'm going to share this on Well Raver and everything. Are you going to share this on Recovery Devon?
I will share it on Recovery Devon.
Yeah, you've probably got lots more students already.
If they let me, but this is my...
Well, you're the managing director, aren't you?
I'm accountable to a board.
I know Em, actually. She's been a fan of Well Raver for a while. Okay. And I know Samu as well. So
brilliant.
I'll tell them to put it on anyway. Yeah. Okay.
I love teaching Rahanni. I've attuned 20 practitioners and 1 teacher. The one teacher I've attuned is in North Devon. She's got 7 students already. And this is spreading like wildfire. And what it does, I trained as a teacher 4 years ago. You come from a place of truth, love and compassion. They're the main values for Rahanni. And you get attuned to that kind of frequency, and that's the energy you embody. And it's back to the empowered expression, back to the confidence, and lifting any negativity out of your heart, because you can be resentful and bitter, obviously, but does it get you anywhere?
No, it doesn't actually. I won't say the family member, but yeah, basically I had some bitterness towards someone, but what good does it do you at all?
It sort of eats you
Nothing.
up inside, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it affects you at a cellular level. And
so to the layman, what was it called, the heart therapy? Rahanni.
Yeah,
Rahanni. Okay, I'll practice that later. Not on live radio. Rahanni.
It gets called all sorts, like Rohini.
It's called heart therapy or something.
It's Rahanni.
Okay, Rahanni. So, layman's terms, can you just sort of give a kind of summary of it? Because I kind of,
Yeah, sure. It's a high vibrational form of energy healing that vibrates on the heart chakra, and it lifts all the negative emotions.
High vibrational, how does that actually work?
Well, I attune practitioners to the Rahanni symbols. There's 3 symbols.
Look, musical? No.
Then no, not musical symbols. You draw them on somebody's hands and their heart.
Right.
And then once you perform an attunement ceremony, and then they take on the vibration of Rahanni. And then there's a self-healing technique that you do for a month or more. You can have to do it for at least a month.
Right.
And you take on these beautiful energies, which are very high vibrational, and suddenly your life starts to change.
So you got like symbols on your hands and
your solar plexus, your heart, and your third eye.
And you try to, do you kind of sit down and try to imagine thoughts linked to these symbols, or? something like that.
It's quite difficult to teach it in a, it takes a day. The practitioner course is a day. But you essentially, there's different techniques that you can use for self-healing, which I teach, and for then sending distant healing. If you want to send distant healing to a war zone, for example, or somebody who's ill somewhere, let's say in Australia, you can do that. And also you can heal face-to-face as well. There's a protocol for doing that. And it's a bit like Reiki, but I find the symbols, because I'm also a Reiki master teacher, I find the symbols are a bit more simple for Rahanni. And I kind of have employed it for people in different environments, and the feedback and the results have been amazing.
Yeah. Is it all kind of this stuff on YouTube? I guess it is.
Some of it will be on YouTube, but...
it's my own understanding. Probably need to experience it yourself, don't you?
Have a look on YouTube. There are videos. My teacher's got a video on YouTube.
We've got 20 minutes left. Do it now if you want. No, maybe not. But no, this sounds really interesting. I might have to speak to you about this a bit more.
Okay, yeah.
Another time or something.
Yeah.
Right. Define alchemy and what this means for you.
So for me, alchemy is this is going back to my own practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Limitless Alchemist. So this is separate from.
It's kind of the Rahanni thing, right?
Well, that will change your life, because I mean the definition of alchemy is to change base metals into gold.
Yes, what I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but when I use those terms, I use it in terms of our spiritual evolution as a person. And so I use it as our spiritual evolution. So you change from those base emotions and feelings and way of being, of where you're blaming yourself, negative self-talk, you're not really loving yourself or caring about yourself so much, you're blaming others for your life, and then it shifts suddenly from the base metal to gold, and that's your spiritual evolution through your experiences in life and what you learn, and taking everything as a learning experience. I learned from that, I've got to be more patient, or I learned from that, if I'm a bit more positive in life, then I'll attract positivity to me.
Exactly.
Sort of law of attraction. So that's what I see as alchemy, when you alchemize your life from being one of, not really being a bit, sort of blaming yourself, blaming others, and it's not really very positive, and you might be drinking, or you might be in debt, and you're kind of feeling sorry for yourself, to switching, reframing things and thinking, what have I learned from this, and seeing it as a positive. What can I learn from life? How can I grow in life? And then suddenly the gold appears, and life goes on an uphill trajectory, and suddenly you start meeting people who are really positive and support you, and you're surrounding yourself with these positive people who all want the best for you, and that's when you've alchemized, and you're reaching the point where you're at your peak, really, of what you.
Is there a peak? Is there any limit? Surely you can just go as far as you like.
Well, you see, we all have we all have gifts. We all have our zone of genius. We've all come here with a fantastic gift. So yours has obviously been on the radio and running the dance events and supporting people that way. Mine might be healing or empowered communication and helping others to fulfill their potential, being of service and teaching. So we all come here with our zones of genius, but we grow up, often not being encouraged to sort of show them, to demonstrate them. We might be slotted into a box. So you might not want to learn French, for example. You might want to be doing healing, but your parents say, you've got to be a doctor or a lawyer, because they want that kind of career that safe career for you. And you actually, I want to be a massage therapist. You
want to be happy. You want to do something that's rewarding and makes you happy, right? Yeah.
So you spend a bit of time when you're younger, unless you're very sure-footed and very sort of sure of what you want to do, kind of sort of going along with other people's plans for you, a lot of the time, and then suddenly so it takes a while sometimes to take action in the direction of your own dreams and of your own life.
And sometimes you've got to just let go of things. When I was in Japan, I wanted to get the masters, and I did 2 master's courses in teaching English as a second language, and then I didn't get the job I wanted to do. wanted to get. But actually, I do deliver and Just Eats and put on raves and do interviews, and I'm happier than I was ever when I was teaching. Because teaching, I was just so stressed all the time.
Yeah.
Doing the lesson preparation, and it's like, since I just let go, which is a result of hypnotherapy really a few years ago, I don't have to try anymore. Things just happen.
Yeah, synchronicity.
Like just say meeting yourself and having this interview, and the interview with Christy last month, and I'm interviewing Em as well.
Yeah, are you?
In
Okay.
September.
Fab.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Oh, she says hello to you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, even I looked at Em's Instagram account today, and there was a book, I can't remember what it was, but it's something about positive well-being.
Yeah.
And it's just like, learn so much.
Yeah, synchronicities happen.
Yeah.
Meet the right people, the right
Synchronicity.
teachers when you're ready.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Press my mates back in Watford over that one.
Yeah,
No, sorry,
I've got this incredible story actually. I was
Yeah.
supposed to go to Goa, and I had everything ready to go to Goa. I was going to be going to a speaking retreat, to learn and improve my speaking, 3-day retreat. And when I got to the airport, the flight check-in attendant said, "Oh, madam, your visa expired 12 days ago." I was like, oh, and I was thinking, oh, what, So at that point, you have a choice. You can either choose to be happy and see the bigger picture behind it, or you can choose to be depressed and blame yourself and think, oh, why me, And I thought, I'm going to choose to be happy. And I was so relaxed that I didn't have to take another flight. And what happened was the flight that I was going to take from Gatwick to Dubai was actually delayed by an hour and a half because of a sandstorm. And I would have had to wait an hour and a half if my visa was okay. And then the flight onwards from there, from Dubai to Mumbai, was cancelled. So I'd have been stuck in Dubai for I don't know how long, waiting around, and I probably would have missed the retreat anyway, because then because it was only such a short turnaround time, 3 days, and then I had to fly back.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, and then on the train back from Gatwick to Totnes, I sat next to this amazing woman who's a maternity nurse for quite famous people, and she helps them with parenting skills, and we're chatting practically the whole journey from Reading to Taunton, where she got off. And she happened to say to me, oh, by the way, my daughter, she has got a PhD, and she's linked into Exeter University, and she's the chief executive of this event management and speaking organisation.
Yeah.
And she runs a podcast, and they're looking for speakers. And so now I'm going to be at their next speaking event. So
Wow.
you can see how I was spared all of that awful flying schedule that went awry and didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I've now got an entree into this wonderful new world locally, this new community of speakers.
Can you get me in there? Plug myself.
Oh, for sure.
No,
Yeah,
no.
well, if you
It's got to happen naturally.
play your music, and we'll have
Yeah.
a good dance together.
Yeah.
And for sure, Stephen, because
Yeah.
we're all here to uplift each other and support each other.
I mean, for me, I'm not really looking for anything. I just do this, and then go on holiday, and then my next rave, and it's like you just do one thing at a time, and whatever happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Try not to push it too much.
Yeah, I find it really helps if you're clear about who you are, like what am I about, what are my values, what's important to me.
Yeah.
What do I love doing? So for me, I love reading stories to children and teaching them about energy healing and things like that, and natural health. That's what I love doing. They say never work with children or animals, but they are my favourite to work with. I surround myself with children and animals because I love the genuine interaction.
Yeah, I mean, all these things that you're not supposed to do, it's just, nonsensical. There's a word. Why do they have nonsensical? It's just nonsense, isn't it? What's the point of saying nonsensical bit? It's too sidetracking. Yeah. Okay, right. We have.
That's a rhetorical question.
15. Yeah, we've only got 15 minutes.
All right, we get better.
We've got spiritual healer and energy healing. Now I want to go. Is this what you talk about? Energy healing before?
Yes, Rahanni is what we talked about in
Rahanni.
Reiki before. Yeah, energy healing.
Okay, yeah, we'll get rid of that one. Yeah, okay, right. We haven't. Pet therapy and personal well-being. We'll do personal well-being first, and then we'll go to pet therapy at last.
Yeah.
So personal well-being. Please, can you talk us through your daily wellness routine?
All right.
Dancing in Phonic FM studio for one.
Dancing. No, I do love dancing. So what I do every day, absolutely without fail, is I do 20 minutes of transcendental meditation in the morning.
Transcendental
Transcendental meditation.
Oh no, another long word. I'm going to record this. I'm listening to recording. I'm going to practice these. Transcendental.
Transcendental.
Okay, I won't embarrass myself anymore. Okay, transcendental.
Or we'll call it TM for short.
TM, transcendental. Got it. Right.
We'll call it TM. It's called TM for short. I learned it 7 years ago. So I met this guy. He was a builder. He said, "Oh, come along. I've got to introduce you to something that's far better than anything you can possibly."
Were you at a pub on your own?
He was a builder for my neighbour, and he invited me out. He put a note through the door, and I was single. Initially, I thought, no, I'm not interested. Not interested. And then I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. He sounds quite an interesting person. So we went to the pub for a drink, and he introduced me to transcendental meditation, which is not what I expected to hear from him. And in fact, he told me that his mum was called Hilda, and that his first girlfriend was called Hilda, which I thought was another example of synchronicity in action. You know how you meet the right people at the right time.
I think my brain's gone now, but yeah.
So, am I waffling?
Yeah, no,
anyway,
I get it. I do get it.
So he introduced me to it. He said years ago he used to be into into taking cannabis in quite a big way, and it got him into trouble. And then he was told at a meeting that one of the best ways to calm your mind is through doing transcendental meditation, or TM. So in the 60s, the Beatles went to India, as you may remember, before they made their Sgt. Pepper's album.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. And they trained with this Indian.
I didn't really. Yeah.
Indian guy in Rishikesh, and his name was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and he was a spiritual teacher, and he taught them this form of meditation called transcendental meditation. And I learned how to do it. There is a way that you do it. I went on a 3-day weekend and then had follow-up to make sure I was practicing correctly. And essentially you meditate on a mantra. You get given a word and you meditate on a mantra. So that's what I've been doing. It's a word, that you meditate on over and over again.
Just one word?
One word, You get given... It's a secret what each person's word is, so I cannot reveal it on the show.
So whatever word it is, so say if it's transcendental... No.
It could be peace. You can make it... Let's say you have your own word and it's peace. So you'd go into a state in your subconscious mind, a deep sort of relaxed state, and that's how you get into it with transcendental meditation, TM, and you meditate on peace.
Actually saying the word or thinking about the word.
You can think it in your head, or you can say it out loud. I tend to just think it in my head, my word, over and over again.
Do you have any background music going?
No, it's quiet, and you sit in a meditative posture with your back straight. I light a candle, and I do this for 20 minutes, followed by yoga.
I light a candle.
So I do yoga every day for about 5-10 minutes. My yoga asanas, poses. That just helps you to embody the meditation, and you're feeling relaxed. And then I will go and have my porridge and stewed fruit for breakfast, as I mentioned already, and then I will write in my gratitude diary all the things that I am grateful for.
Oh yes, I'll tell you what. If there's no one coming in, I think in a few minutes, if there's no one coming in, we maybe could go a few minutes extra.
Okay.
Only if no one's coming in. But that thing you just said about the writing down the gratitude, I've been doing that, and I've been really enjoying that.
Have you? How long have you been doing it for now?
I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Oh yeah, you'll start to see changes now. It usually takes about, they used to say about 4 weeks to reframe your mind, rewire your mind, but now they're saying 42 days. So so that's 6 weeks. So you'll start to see.
I have to see if I can do it when I'm on holiday. And it's amazing things you write. It's not the same things every day, is it? It just changes quite a lot.
Even if you haven't got time to write it on holiday, you could just say it to yourself. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this, whatever it is. And
actually, I combined it with a technique that's just writing good things that happened as well. So it's kind of when I write the good things, normally it's when I'm maybe feeling a bit anxious and I want to kind of not be anxious, then I'll write it. But actually it's probably good to do it quite regularly, not react to it, but actually do it every day.
I do it every day. So at the end of the day, I write down what went well, and I write down all the things that went well. If I'm really tired, I'll just maybe write down 2 or 3 things. But if sometimes it's a long list, and I read it through, and I think, hey, that's a good day. That's a good day.
Yeah.
And I go to bed with that positive thought.
Yeah, bringing something back to what you said, like if something really annoying happens, but think I'm just going to be happy. I could have done with that a couple of weeks ago because I had my car rammed into my dream car, my convertible. I mean, it was
You weren't in it at the time.
No, it was parked up near my wife's work.
That's a positive, isn't it? You weren't in it at the time.
But it's really interesting because actually it was getting old, and I actually got 2,000 back for it, even though the roof didn't work. And actually that is a way of that was actually quite a positive thing. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
so
also, wife and I have a really nice car now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
An example live of reframing.
It was kind of, I guess you need to be conscious about it and react to it quicker rather than being in a bad mood for 3 days or something.
Well,
You've got to
that comes with time.
Yeah, you've got to practice.
With things like transcendental meditation and with the gratitude diary, you can reframe a lot quicker as time goes on. You know, to begin with, it took me quite a long time to reframe.
Yeah, the transcendental...
TM.
Transcendental... I want to say it. I want to get good at it. Transcendental meditation. That's when the word...
Yeah, the mantra, yeah.
The mantra.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do that in the evening as well for 20 minutes before I go to bed. And that's really helped my mental health because before that I was, the circulating thoughts going around my head and, what if this happens? What if that happens? Imagining the worst scenario.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. And so...
How does that help? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
TM helps me stay in the present and it really just lifts my mood.
And did you say someone else gives you that word, or you think?
Yeah, someone else gives you that word.
And who is that person?
So my TM teacher gave me that word, and that's so.
But it's more than just giving you a word. They've got to teach you exactly how to relax.
There's a beautiful ceremony associated with it, where there's an altar.
I want to have a go at this as well.
Oh, please do. I can give you her details.
Yeah, I think there's not a limit to how many well-being things you do, is there? I mean, I do deep trance meditation every day. Just lie down, put some deep trance music on, relax your mind. But there's so much else you can do, isn't there? Whatever
you feel drawn to. I found other types of meditation I did before, because I did yoga literally every day for 10 years to change my, help lift my mood and to help with my mental health. Because I'm a single parent of two daughters, and it was the way I coped, with all the demands on me and all of that. So. But with the pranayama kind of breathing I did at the end of my yoga sessions, it was not as powerful as the TM meditation that I do now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then as you I found that as you do the TM more and more, and my routine works for me, everyone's different. I find now that those synchronicities happen all the time, like meeting you today, and doing this show and working for Recovery Devon and having such a brilliant team there.
Like now, I can see Recovery Devon, and if you do a post, it's just making that connection is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really is. You do a lot of walking in nature. Is that something you do most days?
Yeah. I walk my dog twice a day. I've got a Jack Russell. So I walk her because she's 14, but she acts like a 4-year-old. So she starts barking if she doesn't get her walk. So I walk around the park where I live twice a day for half an hour in the evening if I get time. I find nature is the one constant, apart from TM, but it's the one constant that I will turn to, which is why 6 years ago I moved with my family from Bristol to Devon, because I needed to be surrounded by nature, and I've even started going wild swimming.
Oh, that is something that I was interested in. Because I used to do triathlon.
Did you?
And we used to do sea swimming every Tuesday, actually. So I love getting in the water. And I heard about the Devon Wild Swimming Group. I can't remember, is that the name? But yeah, I quite fancy doing some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've just gone in my swimming costume over the summer. I haven't got a wetsuit yet. It's been amazing. Yeah,
I paid £100 for a wetsuit, and I hardly used it because I started doing Deliveroo and Just Eats a few years ago, and then I just can't do it because I'm just too knackered. If I do any triathlon training and then do Deliveroo, I'm just in a bad mood. You don't want to see me in a bad mood. Definitely not. Okay.
No, I'll buy you some carrot cake in a minute just so I'm not in a bad mood.
Yeah, no, I don't know about carrot chocolate cake, maybe.
Yeah, dark chocolate.
Yeah, so... speaking about pets, that's a good one, isn't it? To go on to the pet. We'll just do maybe one more question. I think that's enough, isn't it? But so the pet therapy program. Yeah. My main question was, did it actually work? Did they? This is young offenders, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did they actually commit? Was he reoffending rate not as high, was it? Or
so what happened was I lived in New Zealand for 8 years in Wellington, and
Wellington,
and I worked for social services as a communications advisor over there, and the RSPCA got in touch with me, and they wanted to put together a pet therapy scheme, and there was a bit of skepticism around it with the organisation about how it's going to work. You know, they were kind of concerned about the risk involved. But young people might not, want it, or might be, try and hurt the animals. So I got the manager of the youth justice residents together with the SPCA. They're called the SPCA in New Zealand rather than RSPCA for Anyway, and they had a couple of meetings, and they talked to all the possible things that could go wrong through.
As long as they're not called transcendental. Was that right?
That's close enough.
Okay, good.
Anyway, so the upshot of it was that they agreed to pilot this program. This was 2004, so it was the first thing of its kind in New Zealand. My background is as a child. I had quite a troubled childhood, and I nearly ended up in care because of my family domestic violence problems and things like that. So I really resonated with helping these young people, because I knew that, and I love animals myself, I knew it was going to be beneficial. And we set it up, and there was a mixture of animals, from rabbits, guinea pigs, mice, cats, to a horse that went in, and it was the one lesson that all the young people went to every week. So they'd missed a lot of the others.
Sorry, the lesson?
Yeah, it was like a lesson. It was like teaching them about how to care for animals, animal husbandry jobs, sort of the physiology of animals, the characteristics, all sorts of things, and answering questions, and talking about the life story of the animals, because they came from the SPCA, so their background. And the young people, without fail, went to this lesson every single week, and they
liked it.
Within a year, the number of violent incidents in that residence had halved.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, had halved.
It's really calmed them down.
Yeah, because there's more and more research. We all know now that if you stroke a cat, it reduces your blood pressure, and it keeps you calmer, and it helps you to build empathy as well. All those important things. So they expanded the scheme out to 2 or 3 more residences, and we actually got on the front page of the national newspaper in New Zealand. With the young person, their face wasn't seen, but they were holding a dog in their arms, and it was a front page story. And the chief executive of the organisation I work for came running into the room, where we were, and said, "How did this story get onto the front page? We want more of it. We want, who's responsible for this?" Absolutely. Yeah. So it was just amazing. I was thinking, I didn't mean to cut you short, but actually, the Phonic, he's a guy coming in a minute. Actually there is a show. We'll have to stop now, but I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for coming on. That has been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.